Hi, I'm Amy Lane Litzelman, and I am here to empower empty nesters. It's springtime in Wyoming, which means it's sunny one day, snowing the next. You never know what you're going to get. But we're getting closer here in the next few weeks to being able to plant a garden. So, my husband and I have been talking about what we want to plant in our garden this year. It has me thinking about the importance of planning with the end in mind. When I used to garden a lot, many years, I would pretty much ignore the directions on the plants or the seeds that I put in my garden that would say plant 16 inches apart or plant a foot apart or put the seeds 6 inches apart. And I would just pile the seeds on top of each other. I would squish all the plants in there because they were so small when I first was planting them in the spring. And I wanted as much as I could get out of that garden. I thought, well, if I just put more seeds in, I will have more plants that will grow and I'll just get more in the end. Well, I soon learned this is not at all what happened. I would have so many plants in my garden, they would be choking each other out, literally. They had no room to grow. I remember when I had zucchini plants and squash plants that were just so on top of each other that I barely got any zucchini off of the plants that year. They just didn't get enough sunlight. They were just planted way too close together. So now I have learned that we not only plant less, we spread the plants out like we're supposed to. But my husband and I have even gotten to the point now where we talk about this in the spring and we look at our schedule over the next few months and we see how busy we're going to be and we decide how much are we really able to take care of and to eat in this coming year. And then we may only plant 2 or 3 plants that year, something that we'll know that we'll enjoy, but that won't be too much to take care of so that we actually have all of this beautiful garden that goes to waste. We have to look at the end from the beginning. At the beginning, we have to look at the end and plan towards that end. Now, as an empty nester, this is so very important in your relationships with your adult children. You have to step back for a moment and think about where do you want your relationship with your now entering into adulthood children to be in 20 years from now. It's so easy to want to keep trying to have the relationship that you've had the last 18 years, to keep that momentum going at this point in your relationship now. But it'll be a lot like my garden used to be, where you just try to do too many things with your children who are now trying to spread their wings and grow and have their own life, and pretty soon your relationship is choked out and it's almost like they don't want to spend any time with you because there's just no room for them to grow. So instead you have to step back and go, okay, where do I want my relationship to be with them as adults 20 years from now, when I have grandkids, when they are 40 years old? Where do I want my relationship to be? I want it to be where they are excited to tell me about what's going on in their life, where they are excited to come over for holidays or for special occasions, or just once in a while to swing by if they live in the same town or city. I don't want it to be where they are trying to avoid me because I have choked out our relationship early on at this early transition stage. So as hard as it may be right now, because your emotions are there and you're missing your kids, and you still want to be with them, and you want to do things, and you want to be there to cheer them on, as much as that is pulling at you, think with the end in mind. Plan with the end in mind. Plan for 20, 30 years from now, so that when you get to that stage, and even before, 10 years down the road, 5 years down the road, you're going to be eating fruit from this season that has been, you've given it room to grow. You've given your son or your daughter room to grow, and then they'll be able to enjoy a relationship with you down the road. It doesn't mean that you won't have relationship with them now, but it's just giving it room to grow, giving them room to grow in the long run, and in understanding that there's a much bigger picture to look at. So until next time, enjoy your kids today, but also think about next year and 10 years and 20 years from here. I'll see you next time on Empowering Empty Nesters to Live with Passion and Purpose. Bye-bye.